Hi, what's up? How are you doing? Okay, I can't do this. No guys, I'm definitely not going to wear it right now while vlogging. But it's just fun to see people's reactions when they see you in a mask. It's so funny. Okay, so guys, isn't it just so satisfying to keep sanitizing your hand? I feel so good. I just keep doing it. Okay, so today's video I'm going to be talking about, of course, the ongoing mass epidemic, the pandemic or pandemic. I like calling it pandemic, which is across the world the most searched word on Google, the coronavirus. But I'm not going to talk about facts or the precaution measures or how many death tolls or the statistics, but rather this one video that I saw online, in fact on Instagram, of this content creator called Aaron Doughty. He actually gives a very interesting perspective to this entire pandemic because he actually believes in the law of attraction and seems to be very wise. He in fact made two videos, one which was called Stop Feeding the Virus, and second he just made this couple of hours back. In fact, it's called The Truth About the Coronavirus. So I actually wanted to just share this video with all of you and at the same time add my own perspective, my own opinions to what he's saying. Let's see.
I think there is more to this than what we are necessarily aware of. Now let me share with you something that I believe is known at different levels.
Before beginning, I just wanted to say that, right now, especially, there are so many different facts and there are so many different statistics that are coming out almost on a daily basis. And people are just getting extremely worried that this virus may just reach their society, into their house, into their room and on their bed and just catch them. And that's why it's just become where everyone is secluded themselves from others. But what this guy actually talks about is that we got to stop feeding this virus. And how do we feed this virus? By the way we respond to the ongoing scenario.
Now, what is known at certain levels is that if you can influence the belief in the narrative of billions of people on the planet, then you can keep people in a certain state of consciousness. Now, when people are in anger or fear, they are very easy to control. Now, this is the thing. If there was some type of an event that would get people extraordinarily fearful, then these people would then be looking on the outside for answers and for ways of feeling safer.
That's exactly the state of affairs right now, where most number of people, the majority of the population across the world is operating out of fear. That's how they are actually being controlled. And where exactly is this fear being injected into them? It's of course through the media, which in a way is just controlling this whole narrative of the coronavirus.
But what I do know is that when you look at the media and you see how much it is promoting this idea of fear, it is very obvious that there's a little bit more to the surface than what is actually being shown. And think about it. When have you ever seen anything positive on the media whatsoever? Ever.
That actually is so true, right? Because all that the media always promotes is this negativity, the crisis scenario. Whenever have you seen anything on the media which actually is empowering, which actually is positive, which actually makes you believe in your own self and just like don't worry about it? It's always gonna feed you some crap, which may be true, but come on, we don't need to hear this. All of us know, we know the reality. We need some encouragement. We need someone to empower us, someone to remind us about our own strengths, not always the weaknesses. That's why it actually is allowing them to control what people are actually feeling. It's scary, man.
But if you look at what is actually happening, it is not as bad as it actually seems.
Actually, that's the point, right? Because when we start operating out of fear, we actually forget all logic and all reasoning. And that's why it's almost like you give in to this reality when even though it might not be as bad. Because the fact is that there are many articles written by doctors and then many other statistics also coming in, which actually saying is that coronavirus is not as bad as it's actually being projected as. Just because the narrative is slightly off from the reality, which is being controlled by most of the times the media. It's almost like we are unable to see the true situation, what is the real scenario, and that's why we just end up suffering. Come on, all the shops around this place in Seven Bangalore, there are no sanitizers, everything is out of stock. Can you believe it? People are just going nuts. They're thinking, oh shit, what will happen to them? What if they catch coronavirus? I mean, fact is, you can never actually quarantine yourself from the world. You can never seclude yourself, because in some way or the other, you will come in contact with people or things which people are touching, and it will definitely reach you unless you are there in some hospital without meeting anyone. It's just quite illogical, right?
If you were to look at the flu and how the flu has affected people, about 1% of people that get the flu around the world die from it. Coronavirus, 2%. Not a huge difference, but yet it is getting billions and billions of times more of media coverage than the flu ever got. Now, on one side of it, we have the actual thing, the illness that is happening. Now, on the other side of that, what we have is the belief in it. The belief in it, I would say, is even more dangerous than the thing itself.
It's so true. I mean, what we believe, how we react to situations, that's how it actually turns out to be. So what we think, we become.
Most of us have probably had coronavirus at a certain point in our life since our immune system overcame it. It's like many people have had the common cold or a flu before and overcame it. The difference is that people believe and are so fearful of it that then it puts them into a fear state. That fear state causes their immune system to shut down. Then they believe that they may eventually get this thing, and then that increases the probability of it actually happening.
This is the main thing that I wanted to share. The only real vaccination right now for coronavirus, the only thing that can actually save us is our own immunity. And what are the factors that depend on how strong or weak our immunity is? Number one, how are we responding to the situation? What are we feeling about it? What is our general state of life? Which directly affects our inner strength, our immunity. That's why giving into the fear reduces our immunity and higher risks of us actually getting the virus.
The fear itself weakens your immune system. The best thing that you could do is actually not to be fearful. Realize fear is a choice. Fear comes from a definition we have about the situation. The key here is being aware. Awareness is what we really want, not fear. Fear is being projected through state transference of the media. You look around and you watch it and you see other people that are fearful. You go to the grocery store, everyone else is in fear, and then you assume I need to be in fear too in order for me to survive. I don't believe that it is just the virus. It is the belief in it that is causing a lot of the fear and a lot of the increased probability that people will experience it. The most powerful thing you can do for your own immune system is to actually relax.
There he said it. See, that's why the best thing that we can do right now is not operate out of fear or doubt or worry that I may get it or it may just lead to the end of the world, but somehow just build up your life force and strengthen your immunity, because that's how collectively all of us will definitely be able to overcome this mass epidemic, which is that of this virus. It's actually such a basic and a logical thing to be aware of, that when people are generally feeling low, they are very easy to control. They actually tend to become weaker in their immunity, in their thoughts, even in their basic life force. That's how they actually may be falling sick. Could be, right? Power is actually in your focus. So what are we choosing to focus on? Are we choosing fear? Or are we choosing hope? Because believe it or not, hope is a decision we make. It's not something that comes to us from somewhere. Sanitize karo na.